Hey everyone! Today I want to talk about a new anime that just premiered and promises to be quite interesting. It presents the story where a young man is transported to another world with the promise of obtaining a special power. I know, it's true that a lot of anime tell similar stories, but I really enjoy them. So in this video, I'll explain the plot and what this story has in store for us. During his third year of school, he isolated himself in his room and lost touch with reality. He stopped setting goals and lost hope for his future. One day, everything changed. As he lay in bed, he was suddenly transported to heaven, where a stunning goddess told him he had been selected to be reincarnated in a new world. Initially shocked, he realized he must have died in his room. Nevertheless, the goddess reassured him that he would possess magical powers and a unique ability to thrive in this new world. He knew he needed to seize this opportunity and make the most of his second chance. All he wanted was a quiet life playing video games and watching anime until falling asleep. He agreed to reincarnate, trusting that his new powers would allow him to fulfill that dream. He was reborn into a royal family, identified as the new prince by the mark on his chest. They carried out a test with a magical crystal sphere to measure his power level. The king asked what level the prince would have, as the son of the heroes who defeated the Demon King. Perhaps he would have a power level of 40 or 50. Great was their surprise when discovered his magical level was barely 2, only able to conjure simple barriers. They could scarcely believe it. If the world discovered the useless son was born to the princess and king, there would be national outrage. The only solution was to claim he died at birth. He could hardly believe it himself. He had just reincarnated. How could his parents do something so horrible? They tried to stop the king, but he ordered the child thrown into a distant forest. This made the goddess very uneasy. Another goddess asked what was happening, so she explained she had misjudged the trap abilities given to the boy. It seems the magical tool that measures power in that world only shows 2 digits, and she had forgotten to give him outstanding attributes. Anyway, the other goddess asked what his true level was, revealing it to be 1002, which is why only 2 digits appeared. Later in the forest, the boy did not know what to do since, as a baby, he could not move. He was in serious trouble. He remembered the man before saying he could only use magical barriers, so he decided to try it with his mind and managed to summon a cubic barrier. That made him think magic was really easy. He could enlarge it, color it, maybe create anything if he just thought it. He wondered if he could apply it to himself, so he used his magic barrier to rise into the sky. This ability was quite useful. At that moment, a beast appeared behind him, trying to break his barrier. He recognized it was quite strong, so he created small cubes to throw at it as an attack. Unfortunately, they did not work. He needed something bigger, so he pulled out trees from the forest to throw. That seemed to hurt the beast, but it kept resisting. In that case, he was going to throw a piece of land, to which the beast surrendered. The beast explained to our protagonist that she only wanted to eat him to regain her magical power, but she didn't expect him to be so strong. He wanted to respond, but since he was a baby, he couldn't speak. This could be a problem, so he came up with the idea to create a magical barrier that could express his thoughts. He just had to put it in his throat, and finally, he could speak. The beast was glad he could now respond, so she asked again who he was. He seemed like a newborn baby. He would have to think of a name, so he told the beast that he was called Haruto. The beast asked what he was talking about. She felt a power in him that exceeded human limits. Was he the reincarnation of the Demon King? He didn't know what the beast was referring to, but it would be a problem if they perceived him as someone weak, so he decided to proclaim himself as the Demon King, which greatly frightened the beast. She understood that he was someone strong, so she offered herself as a sacrifice. He said that would be too much. He just asked her not to attack him from now on, which impressed the beast with his great generosity. In that case, she swore on the proud clan of fire phoenixes that she would not attack him. He agreed, so he decided to say goodbye by calling her Flame. That really caught the beast's attention. This encounter was just a coincidence, but it turned out to be a great blessing. The contract was established, and now the beast would offer her loyalty. Haruto explains that he is starving. He hasn't eaten anything since he reincarnated, and he needs breast milk. Flame agrees to help him, so she uses a special spell to return to her human form. Except she had lost her clothes, so our protagonist kindly asked her to put something on. Flame apologized for making things awkward, but he assured her it was fine, and used his special power to conjure up some new clothes for her. Then, Flame asked if he wanted some breast milk. He had to explain to her that only women who have given birth produce breast milk. This made him wonder if Flame was in her right mind. Later, Flame seemed worried she had given Haruto the wrong idea and said sorry. He told her not to worry about it. When they heard someone approaching, Flame was ready to eliminate the potential threat, but Haruto suggested they try talking to the person first. The stranger finally arrived, and Flame inquired about his purpose. He revealed he was there to take the baby, which Flame flatly refused. When asked why she opposed this, Flame responded that Haruto is her master, and therefore the baby belonged to her. Haruto was confused. The mysterious man explained the baby was a relative of his, abandoned for unknown reasons, and he had come to rescue him. He explained that humans are empathetic beings, and the baby must be starting to feel hungry. He had brought breast milk to feed him. Haruto agreed, but Flame protested. Was this the stranger's strategy to demonstrate she couldn't produce breast milk? He assured her he didn't care about her inability to breastfeed, only her ability to care for a child in the baby's situation. Flame retorted that one never knows until they try, and asked why the stranger was so interested in the child. He shared that he and his wife had lost a son, and knew the baby had been abandoned due to his lack of magical abilities. But that did not matter to them. They believed everyone deserves to experience life's wonders. This statement moved Flame, though she found the stranger somewhat peculiar. The man proposed a deal. If Flame so desired to serve Haruto as her master, they were willing to take them both in. Flame accepted the deal and decided to accompany the stranger to care for Haruto. To conceal the baby's identity, the man smashed the basket he was in with his hammer. During their journey, Haruto asked if he could drink the milk, but Flame insisted he would only drink hers. 9 years passed. Haruto lived peacefully with his new family. He had initially planned to leave when he grew up, but the bonds he had formed prevented him from doing so. However, he worried because his new sister seemed to hate him. Flame, who now worked as a maid, had an excellent relationship with Haruto's sister. One day, Haruto's sister asked Flame if they could play together. Flame explained she had the task of caring for Haruto that day, but he insisted they play. So the two went out to play under Haruto's distant gaze. Haruto's mom told him not to worry. Probably his sister Charlotte was shy around him because she didn't know how to treat a boy his age. She's sure they get along well with Flame. It makes him think that maybe his sister realized that he is 30 years old, and that's why she doesn't pay attention to him. His mom advises him not to be so dramatic and suggests he prepares something special for Charlotte to show her what a good brother he is. She's sure that will change Charlotte's attitude. She also reminds him that he doesn't like to socialize much, but he has to do it because he is the heir to their country. She suggests that instead of locking himself in his room, he should go out and play with her. As a mother, she will do whatever it takes to make them get along. Later in his room, Haruto considers the possibility of becoming independent, but if he leaves, Flame will surely follow him, which will infuriate his sister even more. If he decides to stay, he will have to face many responsibilities and won't be able to live peacefully. For those 9 years, he has been preparing to leave, studying protection magic to create a robot copy. But he has trouble making the robot speak or move and would have to create another robot for Flame so no one feels sad. At that moment, his father knocks on his door and asks him to come out for a moment to teach him how to handle a sword. Haruto doesn't want to, but he can't tell his father that he just wants to stay in his room studying ancient magic. His father is interested in ancient magic and asks him if he sees potential in the lost magic of the myths. Haruto wants to leave to continue his research, but his father tells him to stay. He might have some hidden talent with the sword. His father, known as the Destroyer, is an experienced warrior. Haruto knows he stands no chance against him and doesn't want to get hurt, so he decides to create a magical barrier for protection. However, in the heat of battle, he forgets to put up the barrier, and his sword breaks. His father is surprised, and Haruto takes the opportunity to attack. His father attack, but Haruto dodges it by jumping through the air. This scares his father, who tells him that someone below level 30 could not have dodged his attack. Haruto is surprised. He has noticed that he feels different lately. For a while, he had hoped that his mana level was above 100, but it always turned out that his level was 2. It is said that level 77 is the highest for any human, so he could not have more than 1,000. He assumes that his lack of element allows him to use magic effectively. Could this be one of the powers that the goddess gave him? His father thinks it could be an innate awakening and tells him it doesn't matter. Even though he moves like a novice, they will continue training to make him a great swordsman. Haruto can't believe it, while his sister watches them from afar. At night, his father is busy signing papers. His mother tells him he has been very busy lately. He tells her that he has started teaching Haruto how to handle a sword. His mother asks how it's going, and his father tells her that Haruto could be a demonic being. His mother is surprised, and his father explains that the royal family records speak of a man who had relations with demons, and some people were born with demonic traits. Haruto doesn't show any of these traits, but the unknown powers in his royal emblem could be the key to why Flame treats him in that way. His mother insists that Haruto is a normal boy, to which his father replies that he thinks so too. No matter what happens, they will do everything possible to make their son have a happy life. However, it seems that his sister has noticed something.